If you think that Adrian Brody's acceptance speech at the Oscars was disturbingly rude and self-satisfied, then just wait until you hear someone who actually knows something about architecture history talk about the movie he won that Oscar for. Because that movie is a stinking hot pile of ahistorical, disrespectful, and frankly repugnant garbage. If you are not familiar with the film, it follows the story of Laszlo, a Jewish Hungarian architect who survives concentration camps, immigrates to America, falls into abject poverty, and has lots and lots of trials and tribulation because no one will listen to his genius, singular vision of what modern design and architecture should look like. I can promise you, I am not being callous to anyone whose experience that actually was, because it never happened. I am literally writing a book about this period of architecture history, and this movie perfectly encapsulates everything we get wrong about this time period, with some pretty deadly political implications along the way. Apparently, he's supposed to be based on some combination of Marcel Breuer, Paul Rudolph, Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, and Laszlo Moholy-Nagy. Not only did none of these architects suffer the horrors of concentration camps, neither did any architect that came to the US. And at least one of them actually tried really hard to collaborate with the Nazis. The term brutalism was coined by a fascist, and the entire style of design, which can be traced to the Bauhaus school, only became successful because of a Nazi. None of the architects that this character is supposedly based on came to the country with nothing in their pockets and stood on breadlines. Marcel Breuer, who's supposedly as closest to Laszlo's character, was teaching at Harvard. Laszlo Moholy-Nagy was gainfully employed. There's a very specific propagandized myth that goes behind upholding Bauhaus-style architecture that is based on a very specific type of martyr and a story that really doesn't exist, that is really perfectly encapsulated by this movie, which basically ends with the idea that the Bauhaus is the one true progressive design. It really isn't to say that Marcel Breuer didn't suffer in his life, but rather that painting a picture like this is a disservice to actual Holocaust survivors and to the women designers that actually were sent to concentration camps. There are so many incredible stories at the Bauhaus and the designers that came from it that are true and are worth telling in movies. I could go on and on and on and on, but I literally do not have enough hours in the day or enough words to describe just how much I despise this movie. And I haven't even gotten to the Zionism part of it yet, or how disrespectful it is to imply that somebody who survived a concentration camp would build a community center based on that concentration camp. It would just be a real treat if we left anti-fascist stories to be told by actual anti-fascists.